on things.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our session of Yin Yoga Talks. And I'm Eva, and together I'm here today with Gaetano because we are organizing a Yin Yoga teacher training, 40 hours, recognized by Yoga Alliance at Floripa from 24th till 29th of September. So we thought it could be nice to give you a bit of intro into what you can expect within the training, what topics we will touch upon, and by what we will enrich your practice. So I'm so happy for this little time and for you, Gaetano, to be with us today. And as a starting point, I would love to hear from you what Yin Yoga represents for you.
Yeah, thank you, Eva. Thank you for the introduction. And I'm so happy to be here and be able to connect with some of our future students. Very excited to run this training with you, Eva. I think it's a great opportunity to share everything we've been learning so far and learn from our students by teaching. So very, very exciting to be in Floripa and in September. So Yin for me is a beautiful practice. I practiced yoga for a few years now. I think it's almost 10. Where I actually started with a very young practice, a very masculine practice with very energized yoga sequences, mainly focused on strengths and kind of postural alignment, which had amazing benefits. I think is what I needed at the time. But then I started to the more you, I think everyone that practices yoga might understand us. So the more you practice, the more you kind of discover more about your body and your deeper layers, which includes emotions and kind of energy states. So Yin yoga for me is Yin is a kind of the feminine energy, is the feminine aspects of a yoga practice, whether it's a kind of mental practice or physical practice, where you connect more with energetic and emotional states through the body movement or through the poses, your yoga asanas, and more importantly, through the awareness and the mindset that you apply during your yoga practice. So connect with those layers lets you accept or observe what's there, okay, whatever layer it is, whether it's more superficial or very deep within you, you observe, and with the nice yoga practice, with time you also learn to accept what's there, which is the key to let go and release whatever it is, in order to really enjoy the beauty of your pure self and your pure body. So I've done it myself to recover from lots of stress and strains, both mental as mainly physical. I have had lots of chronic pain. So yeah, we have lots of tools to share, introduce to you all. What about you, Eva? What do you think Yin has given you? And what would you like to share with your students during the training?
Yeah, I find Yin Yoga like a very complementary practice to all the dynamic styles. And like as you've already described, like thanks to the longer holds of the poses, we really have unique opportunity to get to know our body better, get to know all the bodily sensations and perhaps even the tension which just gets stored in our bodies. And Yin Yoga is really way how to release that. And as a consequence, it not only enhances the flexibility of the body, but also I would say the mind as well, because it's so interconnected. And to me, Yin Yoga is really an introspective practice where I have time to be in my own inner landscape, my own inner world, understanding what I feel from within. And often I find in yoga practice also a wonderful doorway to meditation, to practices of meditation. And there's like so much benefits. We work with the parasympathetic nervous system, with the vagus nerve. So it allows us to really unwind after all the stress we are normally experiencing, stress and rush from the normal daily life. So some people may find it pretty boring at the beginning, but usually from my experience, people start to love it after, because they just realize that it's their own time and time for own self-exploration, and some really nice insights can come to you through that. And yeah, apart from flexibility, like there's so much benefits, and I want to touch with you upon the meridian system, because I know that you are very passionate about. So how Yin Yoga influences the meridian system and what it is, actually.
That's a beautiful question. And I think what is very important is that all these practices are not just some, new age trends. Okay. There are very detailed laws of physics or laws of nature that kind of rule how the energy moves within the body and how tensions kind of gets like stored in specific part of the body. So we just see there's a my back hurt, or I don't have flexibility, or my knee is painful, these kind of things, or I feel anxious. But actually, the way it's structured in your awareness or in your physiology is extremely precise. Now, whether we are good enough to understand those laws is a different, a different discussion. But everything that happens and manifests in your body has very detailed and specific reasons. So there are very defined frameworks to use, tools to use to understand your body better and to release, get rid of those things that limits us effectively. Okay, so in general is all the holistics approaches, whereas Ayurveda or Chinese medicine or even Western integrative medicine, they use the 5-element theory. Okay, so everything in nature is combination of different elements: air, water, fire, earth, wood, or metal in Chinese medicine case, for example. And the way these elements interact between each other kind of defines your disease, or how those disease kind of develops, which can be, again, just stiffness in part of the body or actual physiological diseases. Or even your face, but something that will bring a little bit into some about face reading. Depending on your elements, your physiology, you can read someone's face and understand the emotions in their face, or the emotion in their past or present, or how to better exploit, some parts of your face, like, bigger nose means something, which means more of a specific elements. A wider mouth means more or less of specific elements, and for some physiological characteristic, but also emotional characteristics. So with the Yin Yoga, mainly you work on specific pose, and with your awareness, but or how the pose is set up, and Eva is extremely good in this. you allow the energy of a specific meridian to flow more freely, or to release the stresses and strains stored in that specific meridian, which we usually then experience through emotions in the first place. So each meridian is an energy channel that flows throughout the body and connects organs with acupressure points. Okay, and each organ in any holistic practices, specifically in Chinese medicine, is responsible not only for the physiological aspect, like, lungs for breathing, heart for, pumping the blood and so on, but also with emotions. And that follows like very specific laws. So the liver meridian and the liver organ itself is very usually related to emotions like anger, frustration, or complaining about others, all those emotions. So by doing a Supta Baddha Konasana pose where you you are with your knees out wide and the feet together, you operate the liver meridian that goes from the top of the feet to the inner legs up to the mid abdomen. So by bringing the awareness there and allow gravity to kind of do its job, tension gets released, and you let go of those emotions, it kind of then creates stiffness and disease of the specific organ. So you might find could be very likely that while doing the yin pose for the liver meridian, traumas related to anger or frustration might come out. Okay. And that's beautiful. And now you can work on that by adding some pressure on the acupressure points. And we're gonna teach you how to briefly do that. Or we can use the tapping, which we kind of describe in another podcast, or the emotional freedom techniques. So there are several ways that we will kind of share with you to connect with those emotions, understand the meridian systems, and help your future students and yourself tuning with your body and your emotion in a more, fascinating way, I would say, where you know more about what's happening, which is always, knowledge is always the most important and most fulfilling thing.
Yeah, that's beautifully described. I hope I didn't lose you. Yeah, you still there? My connection is a bit
I am
unstable.
here.
Yeah, okay. And now, like, especially that emotional part, like, it's super fascinating in yoga practice. And overall, I must say, like, I'm meeting two types of people, like those who sort of like don't want to face it and step away from the intensity of the pose, and those who really embrace it and take it as it is. Because what's happening through this practice is that, like, we really are moving these emotions from like deeper layers if in us, from even the subconscious, from our memories, from our previous experiences. We just bring it up to the surface, and then people react, either deny or they face it, they embrace it. And that's really a way how to cure it, how to heal that, allowing it to bring it up to the surface level and witness it as it is, perhaps also understanding why is that happening. That's the way how to heal not only your body but also that emotional part of yourself. And really, in yoga, as you've described, has that powerful way to do so.
Beautiful. Yeah. And then I think that's beautiful, Eva. And I think also doing that during a teacher's training is a way to create safe space, safe environment where you feel kind of safe to go deeper into those emotions that potentially in a normal yoga class, so in different scenarios or situations might feel uncomfortable, so then we tend to resist more. While if we do it all together, we're not going into very deep and traumatic events. Like, not gonna do any psychological or psychotherapeutic sessions together. We'll just allow our body to express and to release those emotions. And learning exactly what you say, it's amazing because everyone reacts to things differently. Some people struggle to be more dynamic, so they have a much more, let's say, earthy element within them. So very easy for them to just sit and relax in a yoga pose for like hours, but then they lack of that yang aspect, like doing the downward facing dog, which they have activate muscle and they have to connect with like a stronger energy to actually allow to release those negative emotions. And on the other side, there are people like I used to be, extremely dynamic, and then holding a pose for like a bit longer was extremely uncomfortable because I didn't want to face any of those emotions. So
Yeah.
learning how your future students respond to things is extremely important. Everyone is different, and knowing about the five element theory will help you doing that, because
Mm.
there are some aspects about your face, of your body, they are connected with the more, different qualities of each element. And each element will give to the body or to the personality different qualities. So if you know in advance how the person might respond to a specific practice, they will help you tailor your classes or your approach in a much more mindful and aware way.
Yeah. And I also want to touch upon a bit about the schedule, because you mentioned a very important thing, like it's about balancing the yang and yin energies. And that's also what we aim in this training. So there will be not only practice of yin in the morning, you'll actually meet us for either hatha or vinyasa flow, accompanied by pranayama and meditation. So you will still get some movements into your body, while the yin practice will be happening in the evening. And then throughout the day, we will have these specific workshops and lectures where we'll like really dive deep into the science of meridian system, chakra system. Also, another thing is the functional approach in yin poses, because we will learn that everyone differs. Like we even have a different bone structure, different shapes of the bones. And that's something we really want to honor, especially in the practice of yin. When we go so deep, we may even be targeting the ligaments, the tendons. So we need to be aware what and how the pose need to be modified in case that there is some compression, like when the bone is meeting the bone, and to recognize if it's a tension or compression. So if it's a muscular thing, or limitation on the fascia level, or if it's really a bone structure which doesn't allow the student to bring the father into the pose. And then, of course, the modalities and use of props. That's another essential part of yin yoga practice. And I was also curious, Gaetano, because I know that you, like we touched upon the expansion of the awareness, right, through the practice of yin yoga. And like we both are so passionate about this topic, because that's really what yoga overall and also meditation is giving us. So is there like any theme or topic you would like to mention in terms of how the awareness expands thanks to this practice and what it actually means for the people? What are the benefits?
Well, that's the most important thing, because everything is consciousness, right? Everything is consciousness, and the the goal is to the yoga goal is to find union, so to establish yourself into pure awareness. So really experience and establish your pure self in your everyday life. And the reason why there's this connection between our superficial reality and awareness with our pure awareness and self is because of stress and strains.
Mm.
Is because these um, limitation which come from limiting beliefs and all the stress that comes from the society and all those traumas that you know, kind of distracts our mind from who we really are, and
Mm.
therefore pain starts because we forgot who we are because of all this pain. So the eventually meditation practice will help you experience that. We're gonna touch on that during the training of what consciousness is and how consciousness manifests. But the role of the yoga poses is to have the energy flow freely, so that when you go into meditation, you can really nicely experience experience that. So any yoga practice, and Yin kind of does that even on a deeper level, because you kind of connect with those deeper emotions that you don't really kind of face on the surface. You have to get rid of this, or you understand yourself more, and it's a process of self-discovery and self-purification. And then once you go rid of most of those big stresses, then the experience of pure awareness is much more easy to have. And that means your awareness on the superficial level expands more. You're more connected to who you are, rather than having your unconscious behavior that are kind of guided and driven by the pain. Okay, so if I'm angry at someone, it's because there is something that happened to me that is still stored in the body that makes me react to whatever happened in the outside with anger and frustration. Okay, sometimes anger can be very helpful, but most of the time, unfortunately, this anger is an unconscious response to whatever stimuli we have from the outside. So by getting rid of those deep emotions in the body, you see more. So someone that comes to you and says something, maybe before Yin Yoga, it was just something that triggered you anger. After Yin Yoga, you just see someone is actually telling you something, and then you respond in a different way. So you open your awareness, you expand the way you see the world, and that's beautiful, because then it makes your life better. It's very easy to say.
Totally. You get perspective. And
Yeah.
that's like so empowering, because then you just decide consciously how you're gonna take it, how you're gonna react about it, what's your response. And yeah, that's true. That's totally what is yoga practice giving us. Okay, because the time is somehow approaching, like I just would love to mention for whom this training is. So for sure, you can do this training like a continuous educational program, especially those of you who are already done with the 200 hours training and are like interested to incorporate Yin Yoga into your teaching part or teaching path. This training is definitely for you. And other than that, we also have it open for any passionate yogis who have like a minimum 1 year experience of yoga, so that some basic understanding of the body movements shall be present. But other than that, we seek people with open mind, with curiosity, those who are willing to hold the poses for longer and embrace their feelings and emotions, those who are really thriving to get to know self better, and through that experience also the consciousness per se, what's in it, what is this mysterious word about. So I would say roughly these are the people we seek for. Would you add something?
Well, I mean, yeah, you said it beautifully. I think everyone that thinks that a yoga practice is not only a physical practice, which is also a physical practice, but it's not only a physical practice, I think is welcome. So we will, it's a short training aimed to introduce you to a deeper understanding of your body and deeper layers of yourself. So everyone is welcome to join and learn. And we will learn from you as well, which is the beauty of this practice.
That's true. So we still have a few more spots left. The training is confirmed. It's gonna happen end of September here at Floripa. I'm actually sitting in the garden shala. So this is what is waiting you when you decide to join us. And let us know if you would have any questions, any comments, anything which comes up to your mind regarding the program. We are always happy to get in touch, and looking forward to have you over.
Amazing.
Thank you, Gaetano, for your time and for your precious knowledge. I'm so excited to do this together.
Likewise, as well. I can't wait. So
Yeah.
happy to meet you all, guys. See you soon.
See you soon, a presto. Have a beautiful
Bye.
day ahead. Bye.